Hello and welcome, and today I'm here to share you a story of a scary coincidence that just happened today. But before we get started, let me talk about the gameplay first a little bit. Why don't you go down and sit on your pop-pop's lap while you listen to me story. This is a COD4 gameplay, and the only experience I have with this game is from the Wii, and it is very different from the PS3 because the only thing that is the same about them are the maps, and maybe that's why I've been doing so well in this game, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it is clearly the best COD. I was always a stopping power man myself, but after trying out Juggernaut, I have realized it is heaven, and I am a changed man. To start you off, I was at my friend Patrick's house, also known as Lollipop, also known as XI Rage, and we were with our friend Brian, also known as Polar Bear Brian. So we were biking around in Patrick's neighborhood, and when we got back to his house, we went to put our bikes in his garage. Since two of us don't have kickstands, we had to rely on the other two to put their kickstands down, so we could lean our bikes on them. But our friend Brian decides to be a douchebag and not put his kickstand down. This led to a series of events that was catastrophic to all of our bicycles, except for Brian's. Oh, the irony. Jacob, Patrick, and I started blaming Brian for every little thing that happened because of his douchebaggery, everything was his fault. In the end, Jacob's bike had sweet love with Patrick's bicycle, and they got stuck together with handlebars inside spokes. They had to be ripped apart because they loved each other so much. Long story short, one bicycle is left without a member of its body. It is all because of Brian. That same day, we discussed Brian's wisdom teeth getting pulled out the next day. We went through the procedure in very vivid detail, and even did a demonstration. Brian's wisdom teeth surgery was scheduled for the next day at 11 a.m. So after we did our thing and hung out at Patrick's house, I went home and decided to sleep. So the very next day, which is today, I decided to do one of my favorite things and watch some History Channel, and it was Modern Marvels. So while I was watching Modern Marvels and learning all the uses of salt, I get a call from my mom. She tells me that while she and my dad were out biking, that my dad fell and busted his face and whatnot. I couldn't fully understand her in the panic. All I heard is that he has scratches all over his bald head and that he has a cracked foot and 2 missing front teeth. So I told my brother to go get them, like the good boy he is, so my dad doesn't potentially lose his life. When my family came back from the bicycle crash site, I saw that my dad was in okay condition. I mean, he was only bloody in his pants and his face. That seemed to be it, but not that that's important. But then he started talking to me, and then I saw a giant chip in one of his front teeth. And then I realized that my mom said he has a cracked tooth and not a cracked foot. Silly me. So besides the blood and the cracked tooth and the mental scars, my father was perfectly fine, and so he just took a shower and casually went to sleep. Or fainted. After all these shenanigans, I sit down at my laptop and then look at the time, and it's 12:30. About the same time that Brian is getting his wisdom teeth pulled out. Scary coincidence. My dad got in a bicycle accident and chipped his tooth. Brian and his douchebaggery ruined 3 people's bikes and is getting his wisdom teeth pulled out as punishment. Brian's appointment is scheduled for 11. My dad falls on his face off a bike at 12. Now, unless Brian is eating magical beans, then this is a scary coincidence. Although Brian does eat some pretty strange stuff. So magical beans doesn't sound that far-fetched. Another explanation could be that Brian purchased the voodoo doll from a Haitian witch doctor and put a spell on my dad to break his face. And all of these sound very plausible, but I am going for the latter. And Brian, if you are watching this after surgery when you're all loopy, hash browns. That is all.